Hello, welcome to a series about some things that may be worth visiting in every country in the world. Today is Algeria. Algeria is the largest country in Africa, with a lot of the country being covered by the Sahara Desert. Although most of the things will be in the easily accessible northern part of the country, some cool things can still be found in the desert, and are going to require research and preparations. I'll be starting in the northwest of the country. These cool rocks and coastal cliffs can be found along the shore. This is near a town called Gazaouet. This abandoned castle-looking structure is also found in this town. Moving further along the coast, Rashgun has some nice beaches as well as an aqua park. Cool spike here rising from the water as well. Another beach called Hafer Jmel. Next is the city of Tlemcen. Here you can find the Mansoura Castle, which is from the 14th century, the El Meshouar Palace, which is also a part of the El Meshouar Citadel. Plateau Lala Setti is a park, I think, in Tlemcen. Near Tlemcen are also some natural destinations, like the Tlemcen National Park, along with the El Ourit waterfalls, and the Beni Ad Ain Fezza cave. It is 700 meters deep and hasn't been fully discovered yet. I also found this really cool place near Sabdo. Looks like a roofed cave entrance. Jumping pretty far south now across the desert, you arrive at a desert well. They are real. Near the town of Ain Sefra is this funny looking dinosaur museum. This oasis, which looks like one from images or stories you hear, along with these petroglyphs. Interestingly, mountains still have snow in this area according to this picture, despite it being in the desert, although not too deep in yet. Speaking of mountains, this area also has some cool shaped rocks or mountains or whatever you want to call this. Ksar Asela and Ksar Bentkhis can be found in this area too. Anaconda. To the southeast, a bit past the city of Beshar, I managed to find this incredible looking place. I'm not sure what it exactly is, since it's called Quatara Waterfall, but it looks like rock is flowing down here instead of water. Tajit might be a cool place to see. Ksar, a fortified old town, can be visited here. Following the road that initially goes to Tajit, it just abruptly ends in the desert. Pretty funny. The next spot is incredibly isolated, being 270 kilometers into the desert west of Tindouf, which by itself is an incredibly isolated place. However, some people have made it here, and I'm including this because it's a very unique place with this red sand. This is not anything to visit or anything you'll see from the ground, but looking at satellite images, these wavy patterns in central Algeria are very satisfying. Just nearby is also a tit. Now to Timimon, still deep in the desert, is this mosque, which looks somewhat cool. Just outside the town are these sand dunes and maybe this lizard. Still in the Timimon vicinity is this Ksar. Some 20 kilometers off the N1 highway is Fort Mirabel. While researching this video, I found many of these castles or Ksars in the middle of the desert, with no town directly adjacent. Makes me wonder why you would build this here. This time closer to the N1 highway are sand dunes with a lake thrown in. Getting closer to the coast again, the Mzab Valley is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It is the traditional lifestyle and adaptation to the environment by the Mozabite tribe. It also looks quite stunning with these walled fortresses. Out of the desert again is Tifrit Waterfall, a town called Mascara, Tafraoui Canyon, incredible view, Sbaat Beach, which has this cool looking island peninsula. Nearby is the Guitar Cave. The color of the rocks and the shape makes this a truly beautiful place. Another beach called Madag, with more cool rock formations by the ocean in the same place. Andalusis Beach is great. I'm trying to have more to say about these, but after a few beaches I run out of phrases to add to them. Oran is the second largest city in Algeria, with a metropolitan population of about 1.5 million. Some cool places are Cathedral of the Sacred Heart of Oran, Oran Plain Centreville, National Museum of Ahmed Sabana, a museum about the Algerian struggle for independence from France named after a national hero, Oran Arena, yes, Dream Paradise Park, Abdelhamid bin Badis Mosque, and a walk along the Oran seafront probably wouldn't hurt. Tabana Castle lies around 20 kilometers from Oran. In the city of Mostaganem, you find another seafront place, and it looks very cozy. Borj Etork, an old Ottoman fortress, as well as Mostaland, an amusement park. Zina Beach Tourist Center, they are really capitalizing of having a coast on the Mediterranean. The Al Noor Mosque in Relizane, whatever this is called, is something I would like to visit. It is near a town called Sidi Ali Melal. Another amusement park in Tisimsilt. Just a side note, I'm not expecting anyone to travel specifically with the goal of this amusement park, but if you would be on a road trip or just in the area for other reasons, this is something you can do. This applies to many locations, but some are also places you'd want to visit by themselves. A spectacular gate of some kind near the town of Bukaid. This nice looking lake near Buated. Tragnia waterfall just by the sea. Kustilas farm in the town of Damos. There is a beach here too. Camp Guni beach, looks very touristy. Lake Sidi Mohammed bin Taiba in between the hills. The El Salam Mosque in Meliana. Churchill has some ruins, a gate called the Door of the West, and an archaeological museum. More Roman ruins nearby. The Tipasa Historic Site is another UNESCO World Heritage Site, and the Royal Mausoleum of Mauritania is included in the site, although a bit further away. Tipasa also has an amusement park as well. Numidia Park is not far away either. The Zondai Waterfall, an old statue of the Virgin Mary in Media. We are inching towards Algiers now, with the Colonel Abbas Beach. Just nearby is another amusement park and Sidi Abdallah Water Park. It's fun to see how certain things come up a lot in a country. Amusement parks was not one of the things I was expecting from Algeria. Zeralda Beach, to name another one before the capital itself, Algiers. The country of Algeria is actually just named after this city. You can go to the Algerian Admiralty Museum here, which lies just outside of Martyrs Square. Bab Azoun is a historical place with grand colonial architecture. The Sacred Heart Cathedral, which looks like a nuclear power plant. Bardo National Museum of Prehistory and Ethnography. Martyrs Memorial, a huge monument to Algeria's independence. The Al Rahman Mosque, but not as cool as the Great Mosque of Algeria. It's great after all. The Kasbah of Algiers is also a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's basically the old town. And of course we need to have some fun in, for example, Dream Park, Satifis Park, and Kifan Club. Getting out of the capital now, there is a beach in Boumerdès. Driving on the N5 between the border of the Boumerdès and Buria provinces, you'll be able to see these cliffs. This location has some weirdly shaped rocks, as well as Tazarin Park, giving a great view of the area. The Roman aqueduct at Sur Golzane, dating back to the 3rd century. Sand dunes in Zafran. Jelfo Land Park for more fun. This waterfall looks incredible. And once again, it's insane how these rocks are carved out by nature. Almost looks like a fancy resort. Moving to the city of Bou Sada, there's this fortress-looking structure. There is this bridge that blends into the sandstone here. Moulin Ferrero. I don't know what this is, but it looks cool. A little bit outside of the city are these 7 caves adjacent to each other. In Msila is the El Nasser Mosque with a very unique look. Then there is this place called Al-Kala of Beni Hamad. It is a fortified town, and it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It was inscribed due to it being an authentic picture of a fortified Muslim city. Lagraj waterfalls are nearby. Close to the city of Borj Bou Ararij is a town with these nice looking old buildings and a mosque. I would actually love to go here. Another picturesque town with the same vibe, I think it's called Chekbo. Also cool green hills as a view. Azran Naat Khyar are ruins of what looks like an entire village on a hillside. I'm actually wanting to travel to Algeria now. The Jurjura National Park with mountains that reach up to 2,000 meters. Somewhere in between these mountains is Agolmime Lake, a cliffside waterfall with a bridge as a paid actor. It's called the Tamda Oserji waterfall. Kar Lemam looks like a tunnel for boats. We are on the Mediterranean now again, by the way. Jelba village, bricks and stuff. Multiple fortresses in Bejaya, as well as a beautiful coastal area here. Boamara waterfall, Kafrida waterfall, a big one this time, and a third one called Lalam. You thought that was it since I said a third one. There's obviously a fourth one, Wadi El Barad waterfall. In the city of Satif, you can find a Byzantine fortress, a park in the center with attractions and fun. Also, Ain El Fawara fountain is popular here. Nearby is the city of El Elma with a cool mosque. In Jamila is another UNESCO World Heritage Site. These are ruins of a Roman town from the 1st century. That's not even 3 digits. This is called Wonderful Cave and gives me images of just a bunch of random stuff. It all looks cool though. In the same area is a coastal road carved into the mountainside with an outlook on the Mediterranean. Reminds me of being in southern France once. A glorified lighthouse on a mountain. A promenade in the town of Jijel. Looks lovely. We also have to add Kotama Beach in the same town. This river that everybody hangs out at. Mosque Al-Tauba looks cool and colorful. Lake Vouet. There's nothing special here, I just like the look. Masinissa Royal Tomb, a Numidian king. Constantine, a large city, has this Roman aqueduct. The City Rashed Bridge. The Rommel Canyon, which is basically in the middle of Constantine. Weird. And the monument Aus Morts. Titis Ruins is a whole town in ruins on a hill. Bosiaba Lake could come off as being in Scandinavia for me. Small beach with a private cave called Aurar Beach. Afenso waterfall in a forest. Nearby is Tamanart Beach with these rocks dotted around. Hespel's castle looks straight out of a rainforest. It isn't. You get it now. Rock, sea, cool lighthouse on Cap de Fer. In Annaba are more of these ruins. The St. August Basilica. The Kasbah Annaba, an abandoned castle. Before you leave, go to Farouk Land Park too. Aquapark Golden Beach is also not far away from Annaba. The last on the coast is Mesira Beach, not far from the Tunisian border. The beaches closer to Tunisia are considered as the better ones. South of that is El Kala National Park. This waterfall and canyon wall looks cool. Madaura Roman ruins. An amphitheater is present here as well. I noticed Roman ruins is also a reoccurring thing. Crazy looking canyon north of Tebessa, which we'll get to now. Here you have another Roman amphitheater, the Byzantine wall and the main square nearby, which all look beautiful together. There is also the Constantine door and the Solomon port. Add to that 2 archaeological museums. This is not among the known cities of Algeria, however it has a lot of history in it. A Phoenician aqueduct between the border with Tunisia and Safsaf El Osra Lake. Pretty cool mosque in Bir El Ater. Maj Hassan Royal Mausoleum. It is dated to the era of previously mentioned Masinissa, aka around 200 BC. Next is the Timgad Roman ruins, yet another UNESCO World Heritage Site, built in the year 100 and abandoned around 800. These actually cover a huge area. Jebel Chelia is the second highest peak in Algeria and the highest one in the Arres mountain range. This place near Ngaos gives me Grand Canyon vibes. Probably cheaper too, but it's also probably Temu quality compared to the Grand Canyon. A tiny valley cutting through a ridge that looks insane. The town right by it, El Cantara, also looks cool. Some 30 kilometers west is this river with a waterfall meandering its way through a canyon. More of the same stuff. The Mshouenshe Natural Park. The center of Biskra has some old sandstone structures. An aqua park as well. Not far from the city are these sand dunes. El Dashra Fortress ruins. Heading deeper into the desert we have a amusement park. Let's go a bit further. A mosque in Tamasin. We need to go deeper to see the actual desert stuff. Another mosque? This is more like it. A hole near Ouargla. Borj Sif Satima, a castle in the middle of nowhere. How do they build this stuff? Way further south is an ex-fortress called Fort de Hassi Isengel. Now we are far enough into the Sahara Desert to have a natural UNESCO World Heritage Site, the Tassili in Algeria National Park. A lot of beautiful desert terrain can be found here, such as Plateau del Daren and these two places closer to Janet. Look. In Janet itself, we have Zeloaze Castle, Ksar El Mihan, and even more weirdly shaped rocks and mountains in the Sahara. Including this rock shaped like an elephant if you aren't bothered to go to southern parts of Africa where the real ones are. I also found this cool photosphere near Oued Arekna. Even more natural beauty closer to the tripoint of Algeria, Libya and Chad. By the way, the N3A highway in Algeria briefly enters Libya. Jumping 450 kilometers east, Assakrem can be found, which resides within the Ahagar National Park, which covers a staggering 450,000 square kilometers. So there is a lot to uncover here. Now near Tamanrasset, a waterfall can be found. They are still here deep in the Sahara. We also have these near vertical mountains here. Lastly, 90 kilometers northeast of Tamanrasset is this cool circle-shaped place. It also has two eyes, but I don't think you'll see anything from the ground here. It looks cool from above though. To summarize, amusement parks, Roman ruins, waterfalls, some beaches, and a lot of desert. Thank you for watching the video. Hopefully you now know about some cool things you could do if you visit Algeria one day. Next is Andorra, a much smaller country in contrast. Bye.